What's up, guys? Welcome back to PitchPassPodcast. Sorry we did miss a week. There was some severe weather, Christmas, travel, all of the above things going on. And we had a couple of things going on in our lives, so we didn't get to record for week 15, 16. But we're back now. Week 16 is now in the books. As always, I am your host, Brett.
And it's me, Brando, here. If Luna, got one of my cats right next to me, just rubbing all up on the laptop.
And I have Lucy behind me, laying on the floor. So sorry if you hear me sniffling or coughing a little bit. I have been very, very sick since the last time we recorded, basically. I mean, I've had kind of like sniffles on and off, but this week I've had the flu and been miserable. But I'm finally starting to feel better today. Just got a little bit of sniffles and sinuses going on. So sorry if you do hear that, but I'm ready to kick this off.
I am too. Let's start with our Thursday night game.
Yeah.
Wow, Zach Wilson is terrible.
Garbage. Yeah, the Jets need to move on yesterday. They need to be done.
Their practice squad
Yeah.
/ gimmick Taysom Hill quarterback,
Yeah.
Chris. Wait, I can barely even pronounce his name. Strevler?
Strebler, yeah.
Came in and was playing. Their offense was moving
Yeah.
the ball so much better.
Yeah.
Out.
Yeah.
Did you know that too? Like they were actually
Yeah.
able to score.
Yes.
Also, this kid was just better passing the ball than Zach Wilson was, which
Yeah.
is also hilarious.
Zach Wilson isn't even the third best quarterback on his team. He is just awful.
He's literally worse than the practice squad quarterback.
Yeah, to think that Garrett Wilson has gotten this much production with him for most of the year is astounding. I think the Jets need to ride the Mike White train through the year. They're 7-8 now, but
Let Mike White finish off the last two games.
yeah, exactly. And shit. If you don't get something that you can see in the draft, then just bring it back. It's better than Zach Wilson. It's just terrible.
This game was so big for Jacksonville for the playoff.
Yes.
Put themselves in position. All they have to do is just win the final week of the season against the Titans.
Absolutely.
I love it when divisions essentially have de facto championship games at the end last week of the season.
Uh-huh.
I love it when that randomly can happen.
Yes. Yeah.
But it's not the East.
No.
Because I feel like for a couple years it was just them over and over again.
Yeah. This game had huge implications for both of these teams because it was the week for the Jets to kind of right the sinking ship, but also for the Jaguars, this is them proving that they have what it takes. They didn't score a lot of points, but the Jets still have a pretty good defense, so for them to put up 19 is still pretty impressive. Trevor Lawrence, no picks. He rushed for a touchdown, didn't throw any, but he had 229 yards on him. Evan Ingram, that little route that he ran, it wasn't a dig route. What's it called?
Wheel?
Yeah, the little route that he ran where he just went over the middle and just used that athleticism. That was beautiful. Everybody's talking about how he's cooking sauce. Yes.
Okay, that's more of a crossing route.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry, I still have a little brain fog. Can't think of all the words. But 7 receptions for 113 yards. Yeah, he definitely did a great job in this game. Evan Ingram really facilitated this offense. He's on a 1-year contract.
He's having his best year as a pro right now in Jacksonville.
Yes.
So great that this is also a perfect storm for Evan Ingram to have this production.
Mm-hmm.
Not the number one target in the passing game. That's still Christian Kirk. He is with a coach that loves to scheme up production for tight ends. Doug Peterson did it his entire career in Philly. And he has the best quarterback he's ever had.
Yes, no question there. Yeah, absolutely.
The little bit of overlap with Eli, that was the end of his career. He wasn't what he was earlier on.
You know what? I still think Trevor Lawrence is better right now than Eli ever was, but maybe that's just me.
It might be because Eli Manning gets some disrespect, honestly.
Yeah.
That man has had some decent seasons. I'm not saying he's great. I'm not.
No, I know, but I think Trevor Lawrence gets more disrespect than Eli Manning does.
Yeah, he's on a shit show of a team.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, it's bound to happen. I think also the hype with Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
since he was in high school.
Yeah, and exactly.
This is a I think it's like top 10 or top 6 best high school recruit for the past like 50 years.
Yeah.
And only the second best quarterback recruit behind Vince Young coming out of high school and college. Like it. Before Trevor Lawrence came to the NFL, fun fact: when you hear how many games he lost,
None, right?
4.
4?
4 games.
Oh, okay.
You know how many in the regular season? 0.
I don't know. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
0.
I thought you meant in the NFL. I was like, oh god, I have to add.
The NFL, it has not been the same.
No.
NFL is a very different animal than high school
for
and
real.
college, where quarterback still is such a big determining factor, but the team around you matters so much more.
Yeah, defense especially. Yeah. Yeah.
But let's keep going.
I definitely want to give credit to the Jaguars though for turning around and kind of figuring it out. And
Mid-season.
yeah, they definitely have like playoff aspirations that are realistic at this point.
It shows that Trevor Lawrence and Doug Peterson are definitely a great marriage that should continue in Jacksonville for the foreseeable future.
Absolutely. Could not agree more.
Also, I think Trevor Lawrence has got to be the best quarterback Doug Peterson has coached as a head coach, right?
I would probably agree with that. I can't say for certain because I can't think of them all off the top of my head. But I think just like off the top of my head, I agree with that.
Probably better than Wentz his second year. Carson Wentz's career was so wonky.
Yeah, for real.
Okay, we'll talk about that when we get to the Commanders. But Falcons, Ravens. Ravens won this one.
Yeah.
Pretty comfortably, 17-9.
Yeah.
Desmond Ridder is showing some signs of some growth.
Yes, definitely. No interceptions in this. Exactly.
And no interceptions. Didn't fumble. No turnovers. The main turnover of the game was by Drake London, who coughed up a fumble. It really sucks when you're in a one-possession game and your number one wide receiver fumbles. Yeah.
This game was kind of a mess. The Ravens still have Tyler Huntley and they just have no receivers really. Mark Andrews does not look right, and on top of that, we wouldn't know if he looked super right because you have Tyler Huntley in at quarterback.
I'm happy that we're getting to see more Tyler Huntley play.
Yeah.
In the regular season, because I was always curious. I was like, how good is this kid?
Yeah.
Very not great. Very much a backup quarterback.
Yes, exactly. I was going to say, if you have him as a backup, you're not fucked. But if you are counting on him weekly as your starter, you're probably a 500 team or worse.
Yeah. But and that really helps him. The Ravens are kind of built to not need a shit ton of production from their quarterback and still be able to pull out games.
Yeah.
Their defense is playing pretty well.
Agreed.
They still have a pretty good run game.
Yeah,
Tyler Huntley adds to a little bit, not too much, but a little bit.
Roquan Smith has been playing really, really well all year. I definitely want to give him credit where it's due. He's stepped into this defense and really, really helped out a lot. But if you want to talk about stud running backs, let's talk about Tyler Algier. He has been he's been putting up numbers recently.
He's been doing a lot better the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, he had 74 yards rushing, 43 yards receiving on 4 receptions. He's definitely helping this team move the ball down the field, but you can really see the early connection between Desmond Ridder and Drake London. But this team is still a long way to go before they can accomplish anything. Just kind of a mess, but they're in a rebuild, and you have to understand that. So it's okay.
It's gonna be all right. They'll be okay eventually.
I mean, probably not. I don't know if he'll ever win a Super Bowl again, but it's fine.
Will ever go to a Super Bowl again, like Atlanta?
Yeah.
I don't know if they'll ever make it back. I don't think they've ever won one period, to be honest with you.
Hang on.
I don't think they have.
I thought they'd won one.
Nope, they've never won one.
Well, you know what?
They've been to 2, and the one they blew to Tom Brady was the closest they've ever gotten.
Okay. Well, yeah, they might make it back, but Atlanta doesn't strike me as the type of franchise who's like 20 years from now. But
I
not
feel like
not in the near future.
Atlanta made a big mistake when they fired Thomas Dimitroff.
Probably.
He built up a roster that was competing year in, year out. He was one that orchestrated that trade up in the draft for Julio Jones. Took a
Yeah.
massive risk, and it worked out.
Yeah.
Brought in Tony Gonzalez on a signing. Like it, I feel like just letting him go was a terrible decision by Atlanta.
That's probably
Candidly.
very true. Atlanta kind of has like this new window opening up because the Saints are shit. They don't have a bunch of draft picks going forward, and they're kind of in a awkward cap space and kind of an awkward coaching space. The
Hell,
yeah.
and fans are hoping I did see a rumor about Sean Payne maybe coming out of retirement and coach New Orleans again.
Same.
I've seen rumors of him just gathering up a coaching staff regardless.
Yeah.
I think Sean Payne's going to coach next year. I hope. I don't know. There's a lot of different places that would make a lot of sense for him to go to.
Yeah. I think he can find success just about anywhere he goes. I'm not saying that any coach should be replaced by him, but I think that he's the type of coach that you can plug pretty much anywhere and find success. If he went to Denver or Indy, I honestly, yeah, Denver and Indy are both. I don't hate the fit either way. I think Indy is just one of those awkward teams right now that because they don't have a good head coach and they don't have a leader at quarterback, they're just kind of in an unfortunate transitionary period where they're like, it's like limbo, It's like,
oh, they 1,000% are, because I like to think of it as like quarterback purgatory.
yes,
They're in kind of like a purgatory state to where they're too good to have a top 5 pick in the draft.
Yes,
They're not good enough to make the playoffs.
exactly, 100% for both of the teams. Yeah.
The Colts, I'm the spotlight the Colts a little more than the Saints here. The Colts have some pieces.
Yeah. No, exactly. That's exactly what I mean. The Colts defense has shown that it can really, really show out, but it can't show out for the whole game if the offense has no production, and that sucks.
I mean, they're just gonna get tired. You have to get off the field eventually.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it would also be nice if Shaquille Leonard is healthy for them next year.
It's so real. Yeah.
Let's see. Let's keep going. Lions, Carolina Panthers. We talked about this a little bit before we started shooting.
Yeah.
How disappointing for Detroit.
Yeah,
They're in their own hands and just fumbled it.
This one hurt to watch. Yeah, the Lions were really unable to get anything going in the first half. I mean, they had the first quarter touchdown, but yeah, this was just kind of one of those awkward games that you don't really expect this to happen a lot. Shane Zylstra scored all 3 of the touchdowns for the Lions. Like, I don't get it, but Jared Goff still put up 355 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. I think that there is some level of frustration boiling over because Jameson Williams is not getting he's not getting targets really, and Amon-Ra is getting a bunch of targets and he produced fairly well this game. DJ Chark 4 receptions for 108 yards, like that's fantastic.
I've been on DJ Chark all year. As soon as they were going to get him back healthy, we were going to see a difference.
You definitely have. But this was just a game that the Lions lost because they could not stop the run. This was like, man, it was just, I don't even, I'll choose to go on a positive note and say, if you are a DJ Moore fantasy owner, you were happy to see his 5 receptions for 83 yards and a touchdown. Yeah.
Let's say this. He hasn't been spectacular, but the team has been playing so much better since Sam Darnold came back.
Yes, I completely agree.
I think they just need this Carolina offense just needs some. which also sucks for Matt Rule, right?
Yeah.
Fuck. Like, they're essentially running the offense he had installed already.
Yeah.
Like,
Unfortunately,
didn't have
that's
a quarterback to begin. Matt Rule really got the short end of the stick his whole time in
yes,
Carolina.
definitely.
Remember that? It was like he just never had the roster to really win the game, like a lot of games in a season.
No, he had like what the ghost of Cam, Baker, PJ Walker.
Some games with Sam Darnold, some without.
Yeah, that's about it.
I'm Josh Allen's cousin.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Which is it's Kyle Allen, but it's hilarious to think about Josh Allen phrasing it. It's Josh Allen's cousin.
Yeah. I wouldn't even say that out loud. I don't know.
So lack of pass rush by Detroit in this game didn't really help them.
Yes, yeah. Detroit is being handicapped now. Their defense has been overperforming. I'll say that. Their defense had some fan favorites, and I believe Dan Campbell is a great coach that really tries to get the best out of his players. They've been overperforming. They were hitting a stride because they had such a big, aspiration going for playoffs, and they still could have a positive record if they win out. But going into Green Bay and winning is going to be hard. Mm-hmm. Unfortunate likelihood for this team is 8-9. But man, yeah, this loss hurt. As for the Panthers, I hope the Panthers win their division.
Really well.
Yes, I love Brian Burns. I really hope the Panthers win their division.
It's definitely still possible. I do think we're right back to where I was saying before. I think Carolina's probably the best team in that division, but somehow Tampa's going to pull out.
Unfortunately, I agree, because Tom Brady is inevitable.
Tom Brady is inevitable. Let's go to the Tampa Bay game next to that at this point. Just Tom Brady's inevitable. Their defense is starting to turn it around.
This game was fucking garbage, though. Trace McSorley, 24 of 45 for 217 yards and an interception.
It helps when you're playing the Cardinals, who are on their third string quarterback. Their fucking punter attempted
Andy Lee, yeah. James Conner is still playing fairly well. It's still not super easy to run on the Bucs, so good for him in that. DeAndre Hopkins, I don't remember if he was only targeted once or if he only had one reception. I think he was targeted twice and had one reception. That cannot happen. That is your offense.
He had this is the wilder thing about it. In one reception, 10 targets on one reception.
He had 10? I thought it was 2. Oh my god.
10 targets.
That's awful. That's kind of the worst.
Yeah, they're only hitting him like 10% of the time for his targets there. It was dog shit. I loved watching Tracy McSorley in college where you can actually have a fun-looking college offense and only complete like one out of every 3 passes, and it's fine. NFL, you can't do that shit.
No.
And holy fuck, it's a little bit over 50% passing, and Shorley's just not an NFL quarterback.
You know what? Yeah, that's definitely, I agree. But the way that Tom Brady was playing this game, like for 3 quarters versus like the last quarter, it was so cringe and stupid. The way that Tom Brady started finding production in the 4th quarter in overtime was just his shitty little unentertaining checkdowns. Disgusting.
Do it.
How many passes behind the line of scrimmage for Tom Brady this year? I actually want to know.
Behind the line of scrimmage?
Yeah.
A couple. Probably a couple, but I think he's more of like within 5 yards.
Yeah,
he's not
within 5. Yeah, okay, all right. Still, that's so...
Field.
So
see,
this game was boring.
The longest reception in this game wasn't even because of anything special Tom Brady did. The 44-yard reception by Leonard Fournette where he had to break a couple of tackles.
Yeah.
And that, I love this little change in his career he's
Same.
been going through over the past year and a half,
Yeah.
to where he's become way more of a receiving threat.
Yes. Yeah, and I think the thing that he's doing right now is he's entering like his playoff form early, because
Mm-hmm.
Leonard Fournette does play better like come playoff time, but right now he's like being the catalyst that team needs, that like intermediary, that New England style of running back where you're right, it's just going to catch some screen passes and some dumb shit and force that
Well,
yardage.
just a bunch of quick routes.
Yeah.
Isn't like he's running routes down the field.
No.
Like I'm right there with you. I think this just really bodes well for Leonard Fournette as he starts to age as a player.
Yes.
He's 27. This is the kind of stuff adding to your bag. That's what what you have to do if you want to keep your career going in the twilight of your career as a running back.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely.
I'm just interested where he goes next after Tampa, because to think like he's not going to be back next year.
Yeah, I don't know, to be honest with you. I think that there would be some teams that are interested, but not interested enough to give him $15 million a year.
No, he's not. He's also just not an RB1 anymore. He's
Exactly.
like you're splitting carries with him and another back.
Yeah.
If he went back to Jacksonville, him and Travis Etienne.
Oh god, that would be a mess. I mean, they're good now, so maybe.
It would still be a mess. I agree with you for any fantasy owner.
Yeah. Well, I still think you know that ETN would be the RB1 at this point and would be getting the majority of goal line touches, but Fournette would be the PPR option. I think that would be the kind of tandem.
I don't know. Maybe I just probably wouldn't do that if I was Jacksonville. The more I'm thinking about it, I think it's just reunions are just fun in theory.
Yeah. Well, they already got rid of James Robinson, right? And they have the backup that they have in Jacksonville isn't terrible. I don't remember his name, but
Jermichael Hurst used to play for the 49ers.
Oh, Hasty, yeah, Jermichael Hasty, you're right.
Yeah. Well, that's also part of the reason for that is because the Jaguars GM used to be the GM of the 49ers for a little bit before.
I didn't know that. That's cool, though. I had no idea, actually.
Bullock was there for years in San Francisco before John Lynch ended up taking over for him.
Huh. The more you know. Dude,
well,
I always learn shit when we're going through this, and you just like give me some random fact that I'm like, dude, I literally would have never heard that anywhere else in the world. So thank you for letting me know.
No problem. Okay, let's get back on track here. I keep getting us distracted.
No, you're good. Seahawks, Chiefs.
Seahawks, Chiefs. Yes. Seattle, Kansas City.
I will be the first to admit I was wrong, and you were right about Seattle. They imploded pretty hard.
I knew it was gonna happen.
Yeah.
I knew it because sometimes the candle that burns twice as bright lasts half as long, and that is this fucking Seattle team.
Definitely.
We're performing expectations all year, and then
yeah, this was a game that should not have looked this good or this close because Kansas City was blowing their backs out, and they basically just got a garbage time touchdown.
Do you feel bad? Will Disley ended up even this game. He tore his ACL. Backup tight end for the Seahawks.
That's
it's been the story for his career ever since 2018. He'll have like a couple of nice games.
Yeah.
Done for the year. It's been that way for him the past couple of years. I can definitely tell that's kind of frustrating for him.
100%. Yeah, it would be frustrating for anyone, but yeah, dude, that really, really sucks.
Okay, Seattle has got to have some frustrated men in their locker room because Rashad Penny's got to also just be pissed off.
Yeah, for real.
Waited for years behind Chris Carson, who they just ran to the ground until his neck wasn't okay to keep going.
Oh, God, yeah. Gotta feel bad for that, too, because that sucks.
Travis Kelce had a really nice game.
Yes, yeah.
They were able to work something up for Kadarius Toney, take a jet sweep in for a touchdown.
Always nice to see.
Always nice to see Casey Staple.
This game, and then that the dive for the pylon for that touchdown was great. That was like, I'm really, it's both concerning and infinitely entertaining to watch him constantly put his body on the line with no second thought. Because if this were 10 years ago and we were in the age of like Cam Newton and shit, you'd be like, oh, that's fucking awesome. But now we're in the age where it's like, I watch Carson Wentz try to run 10 yards and sprain both ankles, and it's like, oh, fuck. I watched Patrick Mahomes go for a quarterback sneak and dislocate his kneecap. I'm like, oh my god, dude. And it's just like every time my heart drops a little.
They don't run quarterback sneaks with Patrick Mahomes.
No, not anymore. No.
No. The only way they'll whip out Patrick Mahomes doing a quarterback sneak would be in a Super Bowl at this point.
Oh, absolutely. Well, and I think, honestly, our backup is decent enough that, like, if we were to get to a point where we did need a quarterback sneak, or if we wanted to, like, fake a quarterback sneak and have, like, a little, just a little pass, I think we could do that.
I've seen you guys, like, something I really like that KC does with the quarterback sneak is they'll motion in the tight ends to essentially do it, like either Travis Kelce or Noah Gray.
Yeah.
Just one of them.
A direct snap, yeah.
Or just I've even seen him like Pat is lined up in shotgun and motions him over and he just lines up under center.
Yeah. Yeah, our offensive mind is genius. Bieniemy and Reed are great.
Yeah, great tandem.
Yeah, Seattle's just kind of imploding and getting exposed. They don't have Lockett now, and they don't have, like you said, Disley either. I'm hoping Noah Fant can step up a little bit and take more of that role, because I've always seen him as on the upper end of tight ends, and I'm hoping he can really step into that role with Seattle, but I'm not sure on it. But I'm hoping.
For Noah Fant, it's just his hands.
Yeah.
The inconsistency catching the ball. It's been his problem ever since Iowa.
Yeah.
How fun was Iowa during that time when you had both T.J. Hawkinson and Noah Fant on the same team?
Man, with open honesty, I can't say I watched a lot of Iowa football, but I can imagine it was very fun.
Some of their some years they're really fun to watch. Other years, it's watching paint dry. Their defense, just like this past year, their defense was really good, but their offense, dog shit.
Rip.
Let's keep it going. And that always has impressed me throughout this entire season with Patrick Mahomes. Just his demeanor.
Yeah.
Cool, collective, just find the next guy and just keep distributing the ball.
Yes. Yeah, he's very, very much a leader, and he like what happened last year, I completely agree with you. The thing with Mecole, when he had all of the drops in that one game and they kept just forcing the ball to him until he like got his confidence back. And I think this year that's been really important because there have been a lot of injuries to the receiving core, and the running core hasn't performed to expectations outside of Jerick McKinnon recently. But it's just kind of making sure that your team stays in everything except the Colts game, because I have no excuses for the Colts game. Their defense just shut us out. But every other game, he's really, really tried to keep everybody's spirits up and keep us in the game, and that's huge.
And it does seem like is there any team that really is Patrick Mahomes a lot of issues?
Bengals.
Yeah, I was about to say, is it just Cincinnati? Consistently, it seems like that's the only.
The Ravens too, actually.
Ravens have.
Yeah.
New England has when they had Tom
Brady.
Very different team.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Keep it going. Let's keep rocking. We spent enough time with KC and Seattle. Buffalo, Chicago.
Yeah, this was I'm not gonna lie. In the first half, I was a little concerned for Buffalo.
Yeah, because Chicago was actually playing all right.
Their defense is playing really well, and Josh Allen was not.
That one never really played well at this.
No, but this Bears defense really stepped up. Name a more Chicago Bears thing to do than have their backup quarterback come in and throw an interception. And not only an interception, wasn't it a pick six too? It was like a 62-yard pick six or something. Yeah.
Love you, Nathan Peterman.
yeah, love playing against you, and I have the defense special teams playing against you, but that's about it. Yeah, Buffalo is just a better team. This was a very, very cold game. It took Buffalo a while to get any rush established going, but when they did, Devin Singletary, James Cook, both finished with a rushing touchdown. Josh Allen had a rushing touchdown. We're accustomed to seeing that. But just with those two top guys, Devin Singletary and James Cook, they were 100 or 205 yards or something like that combined between them just rushing, and each of them had the touchdowns. So that's really, really nice. They were relatively efficient. Actually very, very efficient. Both averaged just about 9 yards a carry. Not a lot in the passing game, but again, a very, very cold game, so that wasn't too strange to see. This is kind of a bad week for most wide receivers. Stephon Diggs, only 2 receptions for 26 yards. Again, just kind of a weird outlier game, but...
I will say, you know who deserves a lot of credit in Buffalo?
Who?
Dorsey, their offensive coordinator. His first year as OC there, and he had a quarterback who wasn't Josh Allen. He would be getting a lot more credit for everything he's been doing.
Yes.
The way that he's manufactured a run game outside of Josh Allen this year has been anything short of a miracle. He sets up these wide receivers in position to make plays. Sometimes I think Josh Allen holds back from his play calling.
Maybe.
And I mean this in the best way possible. Josh Allen is a wild stallion.
Yes, definitely on that.
He's wild. He's going to do something chaotic. Most of the time it's going to be good for your team, but man, roller coaster.
Yeah. It's really high highs or really low lows.
Speaking of low lows, let's talk about a game with a sexual predator, Deshaun Watson.
Oh, God. I was so fucking happy to see him lose. I was so happy.
He almost got outplayed by Andy Dalton.
You know, I would argue he probably did.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, they won.
It's about the same. Their quarterback rate, their rating 44.3, 47.1. It's not that big of a difference.
Yeah.
They're kind of dog shit.
Well, I mean, when you consider Andy Dalton didn't have...
Watson ran in a touchdown, so I'll give the edge, I guess.
Andy Dalton's number one receiver was Rashid Shaheed. versus Amari Cooper, Kareem Hunt, David Njoku, Nick Chubb, Donovan Peoples-Jones as
Okay. This Browns offense should be performing much better than what they are.
Yes, no question. Deshaun just looks bad because he hasn't been playing. And I hope it stays that way because I don't want anything good to ever happen to him.
Very funny because he only has 2 more weeks to play before he has the entire offseason again.
I know, and he's just going to have to sit and stay shit for 6 more months.
Ever.
Yeah.
ever, and ever.
I mean, put him in jail. No one would be mad.
Put him in horny jail.
Well, yeah. For real. Yeah, and if any of you liked or posted anything about the taking the Browns -2.5, shame on you for that joke. That was a bad joke. I was very, very happy to see Deshaun lose, though. Very, very happy to see the Saints win. Dude, this division, NFC South, dog shit.
They're all within, and because they're all also still have a chance in the playoffs too.
Yeah.
I saw about something funny when
What?
I went down to Tampa Bay's record.
What?
They low-key scheduled Tampa Bay to play on Christmas Day because they knew Tom Brady didn't give a fuck about his family.
Oh my God. I mean, kind of true, actually. Yeah. That is messed
Scheduled
up.
Aaron Rodgers on Christmas Day too. I mean, I'm not gonna.
Well, Aaron Rodgers just doesn't really have any, but
yeah.
Yeah.
Aaron, we'll get to the Packers game next, but NFC South is just dog shit.
Yeah.
Someone's bound to win it this year, and it's gonna be someone that doesn't have a 9-8 record. This division won't have someone with a winning record.
Probably not. The
Bucks have the
Bucks
best.
technically could because they're 7-8, but yeah.
But let's continue forward and onward. Giants, Vikings. The Giants almost pull off the win with Minnesota.
Yeah, the Vikings are the worst. playing to competition team I've ever seen in my life. Ever.
The Giants play to competition every game, and I'm here for it.
Yeah.
As an observer.
You regardless of what fan base you root for, I don't care who you are, I don't care where you are, I don't care what you are. What Justin Jefferson is doing is fucking unreal. Okay?
He broke Randy Moss's record for most receiving yards in a season for the Vikings.
Yes, Justin Jefferson is him. He is Jerry Rice Jr., and if you don't believe in him, with what he's doing with this offense that has such split production,
The real world Jerry Rice Jr., by the way. Sorry.
Wait, what?
That's a real person, by the way.
Oh, well, you know what?
Rice named one of his kids after himself.
Swapped at birth.
No shit.
Swapped at birth with Justin Jefferson.
Well, it's okay. Jerry Rice's son, not very good.
Oh, well, Justin Jefferson is very good, both on and off the field as far as I can tell.
Justin Jefferson is a top 3 wide receiver in the NFL, if not the best wide receiver in the NFL.
I'm ready to say it. I'm ready to say he is him. I'm ready to put everything on it. At this point in time, he's about to break the all-time record. He is him. He needs 208 yards and he has 2 weeks to play.
208 yards, 2 weeks.
Yeah, he's got it. He is him.
I've been saying this until someone breaks Calvin Johnson's record in 16 games. I don't care.
I mean, that's completely fair, and I completely understand that and agree with that. But I'm saying right now he's one in the NFL. I'm not saying he's better than Calvin Johnson.
No, I'm not. I'm just more saying that about the record,
okay,
about the all-time receiving yards record.
That's fair.
Nothing against Justin Jefferson. He is the number 1 wide receiver in the NFL right now. I think best debate I can make for someone else. I really wonder what Jamar Chase's season would have looked like.
Yeah, if he wasn't injured, exactly. I'm right there with you. So if we're talking individually, I completely agree with you. I had this conversation with someone the other day. Their level of production should be relatively similar, if not Chase edging him out, if it were just like in a complete vacuum. But that hydra of receivers that the Bengals have, T. Higgins is getting a lot of attention just because he's a big body.
This is my hot take. I think I could easily see the Bengals going wide receiver in the first round of this draft class that's coming up. They're going to be picking later. They'll still get a chance at a decent wide receiver because I think teams are going to be scared to draft this class early.
Yeah.
And it gives them a good out for either Tyler Boyd or T. Higgins.
No, I completely agree with you.
I would rather lose Tyler Boyd.
Yes, exactly.
T. Higgins is like a borderline wide receiver 1.
I agree.
In IRL.
Yes.
Not fantasy, sure. Same thing in fantasy. But real life, like he's very good.
No, I completely agree.
Sorry to Giants fans right now. The Giants played a really good game in this one. Saquon Barkley had a nice game, averaged 6 yards a carry, 84 yards in the TD. Their defense showed up, played pretty well. I like the Jalen Smith actually playing well for the Giants. Moderately well.
You know what? 2 things. 1, I believe this is the first interception that Daniel Jones has thrown in 5 games. And 2, Richie James. Richie James is playing really well.
A nice game.
Yeah. Isaiah Hodgins as well. I definitely want to give him credit because
Isaiah Hodgins has been very nice.
He's 6'4". I've been thinking about picking him up in fantasy. I've been watching a lot of his highlights and checking him out.
He definitely should.
I think he's underrated.
Especially like dynasty formats.
Yeah.
Especially before the fucking season ends.
Yeah, because New York is definitely getting a new quarterback. 100%.
Think definitely.
Oh, yes.
Here's where I think they're at. I think they're gonna kind of wait it out. I think Daniel Jones gets tagged.
Oh, I don't know about that one.
You don't think they tag him?
No. I think they're done. I think they're gonna let him walk.
Let him walk. Okay, you let him walk. And what's the replacement?
Dude, literally anything in the draft. I don't know.
Mhm.
I know they liked him a lot.
Also going to be picking pretty late on in the draft, being a wild card team.
Yeah, but
They're gonna probably have to move up if they want a quarterback.
that I agree with that, and I think they should.
I think it's a good idea to tag Daniel Jones
And wait for next year.
No, I'm still drafting quarterback this year. I'm saying trade up for Anthony Richardson.
Gotcha.
Richardson sit for a year, like learn Brian Dable's scheme, and then let Daniel Jones walk.
Okay, that's fair. That's a valid alternative. I just don't want to keep him any longer than I have to.
I have to think of both the coach and the GM's perspective too, where this team just made the playoffs this year.
Yes.
They made the playoffs this year. Do you really want your go from a playoff team to top 5 pick? In one season. Essentially go from be the worst team in your division next year.
You know what? There's a very real possibility.
Oh, there very much is. I mean,
there's a fine line between the Giants and the Commanders right now.
They both are playoff teams right now.
I know.
Now, this was honestly a really good game.
Yeah.
Danielle Hunter for the Vikings had a really nice game, and Zadarius Smith no, he didn't play this game.
Nope.
Harrison Smith and Danielle Hunter, and when Zadarius Smith has been playing, those guys and also Patrick Pearson really have been pushing this Vikings defense forward.
Yes.
They're not great.
No. But
they're not going to lose you every single game.
They're not going to lose you one-score games. Yeah, exactly.
And their defense is good enough to forge a comeback with.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bengals Patriots, since we were just
yeah.
This is where I have been very, very adamant about T. Higgins' value, and I was talking about it especially for fantasy owners going later into the year. T. Higgins was averaging 18 PPR fantasy points per game for a long period of time without Jamar there, and I'm saying when Jamar gets back, all that's going to do is help T's value because it's going to get more attention off of him. And I think this game was a perfect example of it. Bill Belichick defense. T. Higgins had 8 receptions for 128 yards and a touchdown. Jamar also had 8 receptions, but it was only for 79 yards. Just having that big body really makes him he's basically a tight end.
Very skinny tight end.
Yeah.
Hey, how nice is it from T. Higgins going from being at Clemson, Trevor Lawrence being your quarterback, to being in the pros and Joe Burrow being your QB?
Yeah, and having Jamar Chase line up on the other side of you, it's really nice. Understatement, yeah.
And honestly, even in college, what's his name? You guys signed him.
Which one? Justin Ross? No.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Justin Ross. So he had Justin Ross opposite of him most of his time at Clemson, too.
Yeah.
Up until his neck injury, Justin Ross was honestly better than T. Higgins.
That I definitely agree with. Yeah. And I really, really hope he can come back healthy next year.
I hope he plays for you guys next year, but I'm always on the pup list for you guys right now.
Yeah.
Just interested. I hope his NFL career can happen.
Same. But also for health and safety reasons, I understand why if it doesn't.
Very similar to Tua. You don't put yourself in a situation to where you could get hurt.
Exactly.
This game also showed me that Belichick is an amazing head coach.
Yes.
This team could honestly be a playoff team.
Yeah.
If they had a true wide receiver one would be helpful.
Definitely a good start. Yeah.
A big no offense to Jacoby Myers, Kendrick Bourne, they both had great games, but they are role players. You need a legitimate wide receiver one.
Yes.
If you don't have an elite level quarterback.
Yeah, and the other thing
you don't have with Mac Jones.
Yeah,
who's a dirty player.
Definitely.
Okay.
Yes.
Fucking fumble recovery that the Bengals had that they were taking back.
Yeah.
Mac Jones went back and fucking went low on Eli Apple. What a fucking dirty play.
Yeah, and especially for me as #1 certified Eli Apple hater, for me to like go out of my way to say yes, he's absolutely right. That's dog shit. That should not be allowed in the NFL. Yeah, and the NFL said that like he wasn't going to receive a suspension, but he's getting fined for it. Like, that's so stupid.
Okay, Mac Jones is a dirty player.
Yes.
I know Patriots fans don't want to hear it or don't want to like associate with it, but he's a dirty player.
Completely agree.
He's like you saw it, like we saw with Brian Burns. He's a dirty, like we should have been
with
calling him out on it
the
again.
twist on the leg. Yeah.
Twist on the leg. We've also seen Mac Jones kick up at defenders when he slides.
Oh, every single time. Every time. You know what? I feel like I owe Bengals fans. We're still in the spirit of giving. I will say one more thing. I've been saying this. I said it in our group chat. The Bengals' run defense, everybody's been saying that they are league average, but they've been playing very, very, very well. Their pass defense hasn't been as great. I know with Awuzie, not being around, it really hurt. But I will say that the run defense is playing very, very, very well. I mean, you held the Patriots to 61 yards rushing. So I feel like I definitely owe you that. Congratulations on that. But yeah, fuck Mac Jones and fuck the Patriots.
Pretty much. Mostly Mac Jones, honestly. Yeah. I also just... Okay, I'm just going to bang on Mac Jones for a hot minute. He's a child.
Yes.
A fucking child.
Yes.
You see him scream at his coaches, scream at his fellow players constantly. And it isn't like you're Tom Brady. You didn't earn the right to pull that shit on the sideline.
Nope.
You haven't done jack shit in this league yet.
Exactly.
Honestly, like, Patriots are going to add a veteran quarterback to compete with Mac Jones this offseason.
Yeah, I believe it.
That there's no doubt in my mind they're going to do it. I'm just curious as to who.
That's a good question. Dude, imagine Lamar.
Lamar would never. Lamar would never. Not because I think he has any problems with Bill Belichick. It's just
that system, the Patriot way. Yeah.
It's not even the system, the Patriot way. It's you have to think the weapons around him. The offensive line would also not be as good.
Yeah.
You have a better running back, but that's about it. And also, you're going to be quality of life.
In New England,
I feel like being a black man in New England is not fun.
Oh, well, that element, yeah. I was just saying New England in general, but on a more serious note, yes, I can imagine that.
On a more serious note, where Boston is notoriously known for how racist their fans are.
That I can very much imagine.
That could also be fun, but
not the racism, the Lamar to New England, not the racist fans
not the racist. But I want Lamar to end up in a situation either he stay in Baltimore or he ends up in a situation where more of a player-friendly head coach.
Yeah, I agree.
I love the idea of him going to Miami.
Literally anywhere that Sean Payton goes, I would love to see Lamar. Because Sean Payton plus Lamar would be so fun.
I'm just wondering what locations Sean Payton's thinking about. But I don't know. We still have to wait until all those coaches get fired at the end of the year, too, to figure out what openings there's going to be.
Yeah, now we're just at the mid-season firing process at the moment.
So this head coach won't be fired, but what a shit performance by the Titans. 19-14 to the fucking Houston Texans.
Yeah, but you know what? The Texans have been playing not that like they're a good team, but the Texans have been playing well.
The competition in a good way.
Yes, yeah. The Texans have
two quarterback scheme.
Yes, yeah. Everything the Texans are doing, I'm not sure how I feel about it, but what I will say for sure is they're keeping every game with every team close lately.
You know what? I like what the Texans are doing because they know they don't have shit in their pantry at home.
Yeah.
They're trying to think of their Texans are a bachelor who just quickly cleaned up his apartment and needs to figure out a meal, impress this girl that's coming over.
Yes.
The $8 of ingredients in his cabinet.
Actually, real and true. I was happy to see Brandon Cooks find the end zone here. That was very nice for me. But yeah, the Texans are just kind of a dumpster fire, and we need to see where they're going. As for the Titans, Malik Willis, 2 interceptions. You don't like seeing that. Derrick Henry, it looked like he had that like huge 40 whatever yard touchdown early in the game. He reached his 100-yard mark like at half, if I'm not mistaken, but it stopped from there. We saw a couple of interesting things. I liked the rushing that I saw from Malik. His balance was great, and his ability to kind of break free of some of those tackles. But it's just kind of the pocket awareness and play awareness thing that he has to get more accustomed to. I think it's just going to come with experience. But still, again, with the Titans, they didn't have a passing game. Their leading receiver had 4 receptions. It was Bobby Trees, Robert Woods for 30 yards. And that's typically not how you win a game.
And really, they're not a great team.
No.
Neither of these teams are a great team right now. I think the Titans show me how great of a coach Mike Vrabel is,
yes.
and that Derrick Henry is a Hall of Fame fucking running back.
Yes. Oh, no question in my mind. Absolutely.
The defense plays better than the like parts. Like the whole is better than some of the parts.
Yeah.
Offensively, they just do enough the stay in games, but it's a shit team.
Yes.
Really hope the Titans don't make the playoffs.
They unfortunately will. Well, actually, no. With Jacksonville, probably not. But
I'm hoping it's Jacksonville, because at least Jacksonville is somewhat exciting to watch.
Yeah, for real.
Also, fuck the Titans for being on Thursday night. Shit night. I was riding so high, we just beat Dallas, and then Watson scores 2 touchdowns. Doesn't fucking matter.
The truth comes out. The truth comes out.
Truth comes out.
Well, okay. Let's go to our good game of the week. Let's get on a positive note here. 49ers Commanders. Yeah. Brock Purdy. Still, I saw statistics.
Well.
He's the first quarterback to come in and in his first 3 starts have over a 100 passer rating and win all 3 games.
Brock Purdy's proving a lot of people wrong.
Yes, they are. And as a Trey Lance fantasy owner, it's making me a little nervous.
I'm not that nervous about it because it honestly just makes me feel better that they're trading Jimmy G this offseason.
That's probably fair. Yeah, they'll probably just keep Purdy as a backup.
Because why would you trade the younger, cheaper option, honestly?
Yeah. That's so true. So fair. I will say, this is what we've been waiting for all year, though, from George Kittle. We've known the 49ers defense has been fantastic. George Kittle's just been quiet all year because, I don't know.
Been quiet until Brock Purdy's coming in.
Exactly.
It also helps that Deebo Samuel's been out the past couple weeks, too.
Yes, definitely. Also, just a random shout-out here. Ray McLeod going from the Steelers to here, 1 carry for 71 yards and a touchdown. That was a hell of a run.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Got his second touchdown. Should have been touchdown taken from him by George Kittle.
Oh, yeah.
Hilarious.
But you know what? It's fine. It's that positive regression for George Kittle that we were kind of expecting to see.
You see Ray McLeod was just looking at him like, what the fuck, dude? George just runs away.
As for Christian McCaffrey, not seeing as much volume in the receiving game, but that's okay. He's still getting decent work. He had 15 carries in this game, which was obviously team high. Only 46 yards, but he did find the end zone, and then he had 2 receptions for 12 yards. It wasn't great, but the 49ers as a whole are playing really well. Can't complain about it. They are really the only as long as Jalen Hurts can come back healthy, the 49ers are the only threat that I can validly see against the Eagles in the playoffs.
That's really funny.
What's up?
Brock Purdy. Also, Brock Purdy's the best quarterback from this rookie quarterback class so far.
Yes.
I'm going to say that, right?
Yeah, no question in my mind. So far, yes, but I think you could be right about Desmond Ridder, but Brock Purdy,
He's
that
been playing.
yeah, that quarterback guru, but also you have to take into consideration like how much of it is that team. Yeah.
Man, if he keeps playing the way he is over the next 2 games,
Yeah.
he's going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Oh shit, I don't know about that.
It sounds wild, but he might. You have to think, it's not like something that's like... Some of these rewards aren't as necessary merit. It's done by voters.
Yeah, that's true. And he came in and got the shit done that his team needed him to, so I mean, maybe.
It really helps that he just looks so much better than both Pickett and Willis has so far.
Yes, definitely. And we haven't seen Ritter outside of, So I agree with you. It's possible. I want to hop to the other side of the ball here real quick just for 1 second. The Commanders, I really wasn't expecting them to get anything done this game. I was kind of expecting this to be a very lopsided kind of blowout game. But 3 receivers for the Commanders found the end zone. Terry McLaurin, Jahan Dotson had some disgusting grabs on the outside.
Dotson has been having a nice couple weeks.
He is all year, honestly, outside of his injury and that little bit of like lag when he came back. Then Curtis Samuel found the end zone as well. But Terry McLaurin,
kind of nice, honestly.
Yes, definitely. I love it.
There's much worse receiving corps in the NFL.
Absolutely. I really I love Terry McLaurin. Huge fan of his. Jahan Dotson, I drafted him kind of on a shits and giggles on a whim, but watching his ability to just completely disappear and reappear right where the ball is, it's amazing. It's like watching a ghost on the field, just like out of nowhere, he just appears, and you're like, oh shit, there's a touchdown.
Great catch radius for someone his size.
Yeah, he's 5'11". Yeah,
not super tall by any means. Great hands, great concentration, great body control.
Yes.
There's not really a whole lot of negatives to Jahan Dotson's game, honestly.
No.
Very solid throughout the board. Like the only critique you can even give him is like he might not break a couple tackles, get you much yak, but outside of that, do you really need him to do that? He gets open pretty fucking well.
Exactly, and like he's supposed to be the 3rd guy on your depth chart. Like you can't complain.
The yak guy from the receiving group's Curtis Samuel anyway, so yes. I mean, they don't even need him to do like that in their offense to make it work.
Exactly.
I hate this for the Commanders, and mostly for Taylor Heineke. They are going to go Carson Wentz the rest of the way.
I know. Well, Taylor Heineke was getting really frustrated. Yeah.
For the record, do you really play that much worse than Wentz when Wentz came in? It's about the same. I mean,
it's about the same.
Ratings just a little bit higher, but that's about it.
I think Carson Wentz offers that slightly higher upside, but the floor is also lower. Heineke is less likely to make big mistakes, but more likely to make general mistakes, in my opinion.
I think it's the math. Carson Wentz, they're paying Carson Wentz so much money. If I'm Taylor Heineke, I am going to see if I can sign somewhere else as a backup.
Can I take Derek Carr's job? I'll throw to Devontae.
Oh, my God. Okay, he's not better than Derek Carr.
No.
Is there really another team that Taylor Heineke could start on, though, now that I'm being real about it?
The Broncos, the Jets.
Hey, I don't think he's better than Mike White.
No, but when's Mike White's contract up?
I think they're going to re-sign him. They'll re-sign Mike White.
Probably, but his contract's up this year, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see. Yep, he only signed a 1-year contract. Okay. So, yeah.
I could see them re-signing Mike White. I don't really see him leaving New York.
I kind of want him to stay until they find something else decent.
But I don't think Taylor Heineke's even better than Russell Wilson, to be quite frank. I think they're about the same.
No, I think Heineke's better than Russ. Especially within that system, in Denver's current system, Heineke would be better because Russ relies too much on. Broncos have such an old style offense. They have a very West Coast run heavy offense, but they also just like don't have.
I mean, they're essentially running an offshoot of the Kyle Shanahan offense, pretty much.
You know what? Well, do you want to hop to the Broncos game?
Yeah, we can just hop to the Broncos game now. It seems like a natural transition.
Russ, what happened?
What happened, Russ? Broncos country. That's right. This game literally got after fucking coaching staff fired.
Literally, yeah.
Nathaniel Hackett let go after this game. Special teams coordinator let go after this game. And I think their DC, not their DC, I think their offense coordinator was also let go.
Did you see the quote from Hackett? I'm not sure if it was real or not, but the thing about what the fuck do you expect me to do? I have a guy who has more bathrooms in his house than he throws touchdowns in a year.
Yeah. I want this cap, but I'm not sure enough to be like, yeah, that's definitely not. I don't know enough.
He could have been frustrated enough. It could be real, but
could be.
Yeah, it's just kind of one of those things that it's like the teams just made bad mistakes that have inhibited them from succeeding in the near future because they signed Russ for 10 years? Yeah, so good luck with that fucking mistake.
5 years, something like that. Russ is signed there for much longer than I would possibly want him to be there.
Yeah, Russell Wilson, 15 of 27 for 1 touchdown and 3 picks. Have fun with that. The Broncos got shit on by the Rams. Baker Mayfield, well, let's start with Cam Akers. 23 carries, 118 yards, 3 touchdowns. 3. So there's that.
You just needed some time to come back from that Achilles, man.
Yeah, for real. And then Baker Mayfield, both of his touchdown passes to Tyler Higbee. This was the week for resurging tight ends.
It was.
And TJ Hawkinson, we didn't talk about it in the Vikings game, but TJ Hawkinson also found the end zone twice. Yeah.
100 yards.
Yeah, so Hawk, Tyler Higbee, and oh god, why am I drawing a blank? And Kittle all had 2 touchdowns. Yeah.
And it just really makes you feel bad for this Broncos team because it would be so much better if Russ just didn't suck at his job.
Yup. Broncos country.
Broncos country. Let's kill ourselves for Jesus.
Oh god. Yeah, I saw, dude, I saw something, it was like a sideline thing with like, Jesus empowers us, let's play better for Jesus. And I am in no way going to shame anyone for their religious beliefs of any context, because that's not the type of person I am. But when your team is getting their backs blown out, when your defense is this good, and you're getting your backs blown out by the, at the time, 4-10 Rams, dog, what are you doing? You better be praying to Jesus.
As someone who's far more Christian than I am, how does Russell Wilson's faith? How do you feel about that?
You know what? I think it's good to have something to like keep you grounded and have a base of moralistic beliefs, but at the same time, it's like he's just corny and cringe.
There's also a line to where people can use religion as like a guideline.
Yes.
But it shouldn't be a scapegoat or a crutch.
No.
And that's what it kind of feels like Russell Wilson's using it as.
Yeah, I don't think he exists in the same plane that we do, and I don't think it's like
Russell.
How do I say it nicely? He's developed a complex of superiority that is gross, to say it nicely.
You know, Russell Wilson rubs his teammates the wrong way in that locker room.
Oh, you know what? He doesn't actually, because he's not in the locker room. He has an office separate from the locker room, which no one else has. Yeah, no one likes Russ. Sorry to say it.
No one likes Russ. Only his wife.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. He's gonna go back to the future at the end of the
Hey,
year.
you know what? Better than Darius Slay, right?
Maybe. Right.
This just one thing. Broncos were unable to score until garbage time. They had 2 field goals before garbage time, and
Jerry Jeudy had 100 yards though.
yes, he did. On 6 receptions too. Again, very high on Jerry Jeudy. I really like Jerry Jeudy, but this sucks. Greg Dulcich was removed from the game. I think it was a hamstring injury or something. I don't remember, but
I'm curious how much better this offense could have been. Tim Patrick never got hurt preseason.
better for sure. I don't know how much better because Russ still sucks, but
I mean, at least Russ. I knew the reports out of camp is like Tim Patrick's who Russ trusted the most and targeted the most. So I don't know.
I believe it.
Well, I mean, last year when they actually had Drew Lock and Bridgewater at quarterback,
Yeah.
Tim Patrick was leading in most categories.
I believe it.
But his career might have been derailed by that ACL.
Yeah, literally rip.
All right, let's get to our last game since we already covered.
Oh, we have 3 more actually. Eagles, Cowboys.
Oh, I almost forgot about Eagles Cowboys.
Oh, actually, we have 4. Eagles, Cowboys, Raiders, Steelers, Packers, Dolphins, and Chargers, Colts.
Yeah, I was just going.
No, you're good.
Dude, Eagles Cowboys. The Cowboys almost lost to Gardner Minshew.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you're a Cowboys fan, you should be ashamed of yourself and not proud of this win. Is really, really what I would have to say.
Gardner had 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, Gardner Minshew had 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Miles Sanders fumbling again. Not sure what his issue is here. But
Minshew also fumbled as well.
I think I'm gonna say it. I think Gardner Minshew is the best backup quarterback in the NFL.
Not Purdy.
Well, he's not a backup at the. Well, I guess technically, yeah. You're right on. Man, that's honestly a close one for me. But
It is close because I will say both of these players are also protected by the teams they're on. These are the 49ers and the Eagles are probably the 2 most talented teams in the NFC.
yes, for sure. This Cowboys fans don't feel too good about this one. It still took you scoring 13 in the 4th quarter to. I understand the Cowboys have been this year's 4th quarter Death Star. That's fine and well and all, but it still doesn't change the fact that you're probably going to get bounced in the fucking first round of playoffs, second at best. Also, everybody talking about CeeDee Lamb developing as this elite receiver. Still, I don't see it. I understand why people are saying it.
I think he is legitimately an elite wide receiver. He's a top 10 wide receiver right now.
I disagree with top 10, but 12 probably. 12, I'd say top 12. But 10, I could rattle off 10. If we're talking healthy right now playing today, I would agree with you. But if we're talking like include Debo and other receivers who are injured right now, no.
I think Debo's a better athlete than CeeDee Lamb, but I think CeeDee's a more skilled wide receiver. The actually running routes and catching the ball.
That I agree with that as well. But
I think Debo's a great athlete, but I would honestly take CeeDee Lamb over Debo Samuel right now.
Man, that's a tough one for me. I think I would take Debo just because of his versatility, because when I look at a player that is labeled as a wide receiver, I'm trying to incorporate everything because, they have jet sweeps and stuff. Like, you don't consider Mecole like a gadget player just because he does like the jet sweeps or whatever, right?
I consider him mostly a gadget player. Mecole Hardman.
But he's still a wide receiver, primarily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But primarily, sir, this year, since they've had actual wide receivers on the team, he hasn't been used as a receiver very much.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Not healthy most of the time, but
no, I agree with you, but it's just I guess the point I'm trying to make is wide receiver is the label, and regardless of whether or not you are a gadget player or used as a gadget player, if you're listed as a wide receiver, I would take Debo listed as the wide receiver over CD Lamb as a wide receiver. But if you can only use them to run routes and catch passes, then CD, yes.
Well, I will say Alice has incorporated CD, like doing stuff out of the backfield as well.
Yeah.
They started doing that like 2 years ago. Biggest reason I feel like we're never going to really see CD getting like big amount of carries, even though he's great after the catch and yak opportunities. Why would you hand him the ball when you have both Tony Pollard and Ezekiel?
Literally, yeah. And speaking of Tony Pollard, I really, really like that they're keeping on a snap count. Save him, keep him fresh and healthy for playoffs. I think that's great. That's
because
smart.
He's great rushing the ball and catching the ball out of the backfield.
Definitely.
Zeke's a tank. Just let him take the carries.
Yeah, I agree.
That catch by T.Y. Hilton for 52 yards.
Yeah.
30.
Yeah, it's one of those moments where you see like an older player who's like their career's been dwindling a bit, just have like one moment of something special again, and it just makes you feel warm and fuzzy inside. That's what that did for me, even though it was watching Dallas.
I think this was the perfect signing for Dallas. I think it was smart for him to go T.Y. Hilton and then keep pushing for Odell.
Yeah.
Odell might not even play during the playoffs.
I agree with you. I don't think he's going to play until next year.
And at least T.Y. hasn't played at all this year for any other team. So he's healthy. He's fresh. I get it, because they also needed someone who was a little bit more savvy of a route runner.
Yeah.
And that could get open deep a little bit more consistently.
Yes.
Because Michael Gallup, ever since he came back from injury, that used to be more of his role, and he's not doing it consistently.
Agreed.
And I know everyone, for that play I just talked about, the 3rd and 30, trying to call out Darius Slay, it was really Marcus Epps that messed up on the coverage.
The other thing I'll say is a lot of people think T.Y. is taller, but he's 5'10". I thought he was taller. I thought he was like 6'1".
I was about to say T.Y. is a small dude.
But he definitely is one of those players that plays bigger than he is, though. 100%. And having the fresh body, not taking hits all season, you're right. That definitely helps.
I definitely think this game would be fun if it happens again in the playoffs. If Philly actually playing Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
But I can also see Dallas getting knocked out pretty early on in the playoffs, too.
Yeah.
There's a lot of flaws on the roster. They keep having to get in these shootout situations.
Yeah. And in playoffs, that usually bounces you, unfortunately.
You need to be able to get a stop on defense, which there was a little bit of time during this year where Dallas's defense was rocking people.
Yeah, definitely.
As of late, people are starting to take advantage of it. People are starting to see that, like, a lot of this pressure is being created by different kinds of stunts. If your offensive line can stay disciplined, you can honestly block it up.
Yes, definitely.
And in coverage, they're weak in coverage. You can take advantage of it. Literally, there was a play where A.J. Brown hit a quick little double move, just almost scored a touchdown if he didn't get ran down.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, Trayvon Diggs was salty about that play. Literally, the guy who posted it originally on Twitter DM'd him and then blocked him.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
For no goddamn reason. Trayvon, I almost called him Eli Apple. If that means anything. He got a little emotional. He's a little emotional, a little sensitive.
Yeah. Basically, Cowboys fans, don't feel too good about this one. It probably won't happen again in the playoffs. I don't know what to tell you, but yeah, that about sums up that game.
Going Raiders Steelers.
Yeah, this game is another one that there's not much to talk about. This game was just kind of shit. Yeah. Derek Carr with the horrible interceptions. Yeah, 3 interceptions, just awful. Josh Jacobs is
It's the-
not. Yeah, he is not going back to Las Vegas. There's no chance in my mind.
Oh no, they're letting him walk. There's no way. I hope he ends up. You know where it'd be a fun place for him to end up?
Kansas City.
Yes, I would love him in KC.
I would too, dude. I was tagging him on Twitter. I was like, Chiefs Kingdom would love to have you. Please come, but
Please
you know.
come. Chief Kingdom. I would like the fit. What your guys' offensive line does. Has such a physical running style, and we saw at Alabama. We haven't seen it too much in the pros, but you can scheme up some things with him in the passing game.
Yeah, I think I definitely agree with that. He's been misutilized in formerly Oakland, now Las Vegas. He really needs to go to a team that is going to give him a chance to do something great.
Give him a chance to actually win games.
Yeah, exactly.
Games that matter. That's why I think pisses Josh Jacobs off so much, is that he's not playing in games that matter.
Yeah, I agree with that as well.
When he gives a bunch of effort, they're still losing.
I think if he goes to a team that, like, there aren't many teams who you can honestly say, like, oh, they really need a running back. Kansas City is, like...
Kansas City needs a running back.
The only other team that I could maybe think of...
Philly would be fun.
Who would?
Philadelphia.
Philly? Oh, okay. Yeah, I was going to say maybe Philly, but the only other one that I was thinking of was the Lions. But, I mean, they have DeAndre Swift. They're probably going to re-sign Jamal. So, I think, yeah, you're probably right on that. Chiefs would be the most ideal fit. Philly, he probably wouldn't get to see...
I think he would still get a decent amount of carries in Philly. He would be splitting it with Miles Sanders.
Exactly, yeah. Who's still great, by the way, despite the past 2 weeks of shitting the bed and fumbling.
Packers, Dolphins.
Yeah, this is our kind of we don't know game moving forward because Tua... Okay, so I wish I'd pulled up the stats. That's my bad for not pulling up the stats. But somebody posted the stats.
Post-concussion.
Yeah.
He threw all 3 of his interceptions supposedly after he got his concussion.
Yeah, let me see. Oh, shit.
If it's by the play that everyone's been citing on Twitter where he got dragged down.
Yes.
And then he didn't throw a single touchdown during that span and for 3 interceptions.
Tua was 9 of 12 for 229 yards, 19.1 yards per attempt, 1 touchdown, and no picks. Post-concussion, 7 of 13, 81 yards, 6.2 yards per attempt, 0 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Yeah, and the way that his head hit the turf, that it's just, man, I've had a bunch of concussions in my life, and I know how bad it is for you. It's not something that should be fucked around with or taken lightly. The medical staff on all angles of NFL and Dolphins team staff have proved to be incompetent. And this is a man's life and future. Like, you can't expect him to make that decision wisely for himself when this is a game that he spent his whole life preparing to play. I think that Tua would be a very, very good spokesperson for the NFLPA for how his concussions were mishandled, misdiagnosed, and mistreated.
The fact that concussion happened in the first half and he played the whole second half, that's so fun.
Yeah! Dude,
it show to him multiple times this year, and it just shows me that, hey, Tua, this team doesn't give a fuck about you.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't even say they do, but they keep putting you in situations that could be harmful for your health long term.
Yeah.
Like, they're going to replace Tua at the end of this year.
Yes, yeah.
I don't think he's the long-term answer. I think they swing for a guy like Lamar, or they draft someone in the draft, or they may even try to see if they can get the Cardinals to trade Kyler Murray over there.
You know, I honestly wouldn't hate the Kyler fit. I'm starting to doubt Kyler a little bit more. You got me more on the Kyler hype train because I definitely wasn't on it. But I think his play style would be decent for Miami. I'm just not sure that the Cardinals would be willing to do that right now. But I also feel like there's a rift growing, so it honestly could go either way. It just depends on a price point, I guess.
still, I was more just throwing out as an example. I don't think Cardinals would trade Kyler Murray because your roster would just be absolutely fucked at that point.
Yeah, for real. Oh, speaking of Cardinals, we didn't even talk about this. J.J. Watt announced his retirement at the end of the season today.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
His first daughter was just born in October.
And the heart problems that he's been having, and the long list of injuries across his career. Good for him.
It makes sense.
And exactly, and that's the type of decision Tua needs to make. It's when you are getting concussions at this rate, and any one concussion, it's impossible to predict exactly the long-term effect or damage that it's going to have on you. But any concussion is detrimental. So for Tua to be getting them weekly with severity or bi-weekly or monthly at any rate, having consistent concussions over an extended period of time with no real healing or regeneration period between them, not that it ever fully regenerates, but having like the brain heal and not necrotic in that area, it's bad.
We'll put this out there. It is easier for us to say Tua should do what J.J. Watt's doing and walk away. J.J. Watt has made over $130 million in his career.
Yeah.
His NFL contracts alone.
Yeah.
Tua's only been on his rookie contract, the Dolphins. I could understand from that portion because Tua also didn't play in the era of NIL at Alabama.
Yes. Yeah.
Could see money being the biggest leveraging factor to keeping Tua in the league.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much you know about his family. His father is one of those sports dads that pushes their kids a little too far.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit before, but yeah.
So I could see that also being a factor. I think it would be best for Tua to walk away. I don't think he's going to.
Probably not.
But I just hope he's okay. I hope that the concussions aren't as much of a problem for him going forward. And the tackle that he took, that he got concussed on when he hit the back of his head, either it's something with the way he's falling once he gets tackled, or the concussions are just too bad to where he can't fall even while wearing a helmet without getting one.
Yeah. The brain's such a like finicky thing. It's one of those things that you definitely can't fuck with, and it's like kind of impossible to draw that fine line of we're for sure this is versus we're not sure this is. Obviously you can see symptoms like ataxia and shit like that, but you can never be 100% sure if it's just minor symptoms. So
what's ataxia?
Sorry. It's like
most of our listeners do not know what that is.
It's like muscle irregularity. So like if you see someone like start wobbling or like it's not fatigue, but it's like just an irregularity. So if someone's like they can't move their arm, or if they're like off balance, things like that, but not due to like being dizzy, it's just like their muscles aren't working right. And like the weird things that happened with his hands on the last concussion, things like that.
Going to Cincinnati, that was terrifying.
Yeah, exactly. There's just been a lot of things that have happened over the course of the season that, again, as outsiders, it's easy for us to sit here and say it would be in his best interest to retire now. It's very, very easy to say that. But being in his position, it's probably not as easy to do that, and we understand that. But obviously, we don't want to see anyone get hurt.
Charles Woodson straight up said he should start thinking about it.
Yeah.
Like, when an NFL Hall of Famer saying, like, hey, maybe you should think about it.
Yeah. And it's his second year starting? Yeah.
I mean, yeah. It's his second year as a full-time starter.
Yeah.
Somewhat. I don't know. Tua's career has also been weird in Miami.
Yeah, with the Fitz. Yeah. I don't know.
Brian Flores never wanted him in the first place.
Yeah, Justin Herbert there right now would be so fucking disgusting.
Would be a much better team.
They would.
Much better team.
For sure.
Speaking of Justin Herbert, he did play well against the Colts.
You know what? Shout out to Green Bay for, keeping their positive win rating and season alive. And also,
Yeah.
speaking of that specifically, shout out to the Steelers because they are on track to have a winning record, baby. Let's go, Steelers
I don't think
Nation.
they will.
Probably not.
They have 2 games left, and they have to win both games.
It's the Ravens and Browns, I think, right? Something like that. But anyway,
they are winnable. They
yeah.
are winnable games.
Yeah.
I don't see it. Yeah, I completely agree. Shout out to Green Bay for keeping it together during that rough stretch.
Yeah.
And actually having a shot at the playoffs.
For real.
Yeah, the wild card. Actually, Pittsburgh. I am happy you said it. They have some scenarios where they can make the playoffs too.
That would be really fun.
They need both Miami to lose out, the Jets to lose out, and they need to win out.
Yeah, and they would still be the last wild card slot, right? Yeah.
They would be the last wild card slot in the AFC, and they would play either KC or Buffalo in the first round.
Yeah, good luck with that. Get Death Starred idiots. Yeah.
Death Starred off the.
Yeah.
You cool if we move on to our final game?
Yeah, for sure.
Colts Chargers Monday night. Derwin James got ejected from this game for blowing up Ashton Doolin.
Yeah,
I don't think he should have gotten ejected.
I was gonna say the same thing.
We had the flag, but okay. The NFL needs to do what college does with ejections. Have it be a review and figure out if he actually should be ejected or not, like a long review.
I agree.
It shouldn't be just this bang bullshit because that's not how the play even was. He didn't even lead with his head.
Yeah. Well, he kind of did, but it was more like towards the shoulder chest area. Yeah.
He was trying to turn too. It was
just an awkward hit, really, is how I would define it.
That's a tough ass fucking tackle. Man.
Yeah.
When you're coming downhill and the guy is going sideways like that,
yeah,
you need to be able to time it up.
Yes.
And did.
Yeah.
But
Austin Eckler.
They didn't even need Derwin James to keep playing.
Yeah, Austin Eckler 2 touchdowns, one from the 1 yard line, and the other was a little bit further, I think. Yeah, but it was like 4 yards.
The game was 16 yards.
Jesus.
Austin Eckler.
Yeah.
Starting to make a case for being one of the best undrafted free agent running backs to come into the league.
Absolutely, completely agree. Completely. Yeah.
We've had some good ones, but he's right up there with them.
And he's had sustained success. I think that's the most important thing. And like you were saying earlier, like with the Leonard Fournette thing, it's largely thanks to his hands, his ability to. Yeah, exactly.
I think he's honestly, if you're pointing a little bit further, I think he's definitely a better route runner than Fournette.
Yes, I agree with that.
I can trust Austin Eckler after you run routes.
Yes.
He's probably been the biggest benefactor to Lombardi being that OC this year.
Yeah.
Especially if you have him in fantasy.
Yeah, and we're like you said, we're starting to see some creativity out of the Chargers offensively.
Yeah, like that throwback pass.
The flea flicker, yes.
Flea flicker, the Keenan Allen.
I was so sad he stepped out. I was so sad.
Dude, he was so close to keeping it in too.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of Justin Herbert owners in fantasy were really hoping he would have gotten in because there's some people who made the chip.
Yeah, I mean,
Justin Herbert having less than 8 points.
I had Keenan Allen, so I was really hoping too.
Fine, it's like I got 24 off this shit.
He had like 20.4 points or something in PPR. Well, maybe it's a little less because he got the 100-yard bonus in my league, but yeah.
Also say Chargers defense really stepped up this game, locked up the Colts offense.
Yes. Yeah, there were 3 different guys who got interceptions. Michael Davis, Derwin James, and of course Asante Samuel Jr. Nice to see him hold on to an interception.
And 7 sacks.
Yeah. That's crazy. Morgan Fox had 2 of them. Kenneth Murray, Drew Tranquil. Kyle Van Noy, Khalil Mack, Chris Rumpf. Yeah.
Very happy that Drew Tranquil has turned into such a good NFL linebacker.
Same.
He went to Notre Dame, and he's one of the guys who first really started being those tweeners, the transition to being just a full-time linebacker.
Yeah.
Because at Notre Dame, the first couple of years, he was a safety. He was a
Oh,
box.
I didn't know that.
His freshman year, he was more of a free safety. Sophomore year, they started using him more in the box. Junior year, they had him do kind of this hybrid role in between a safety and linebacker.
Yeah.
Final year at Notre Dame, pure linebacker the whole time.
Huh.
So that's why you see Tranquil so good going sideline to sideline.
Yeah.
But he's also decent coverage.
Gotcha. That's good to know. Yeah, I again, this Chargers team is just constantly plagued by injuries, and now that they're mostly healthy, we're starting to see some performance from them, and their coach is starting to give. You're not seeing checked out merchant Justin Herbert anymore, so it's nice to see interesting offensive play calling, and I really think that it's going to make my division a lot more difficult, but I'm really here for it because it's not fun just curb stomping the Raiders and Broncos every year.
And plenty of thrusting from Brandon Staley.
Yeah. Oh my God, that video. Like, actually, he had to know. Like, why would you not do that?
Okay. That stretch specifically.
Yeah.
I understand doing that stretch if you have if anyone listening has back problems.
Yes.
At home, try that stretch. It's actually really good.
That is completely fair, and I am completely on board with that. But in public, dog, nah. You got to be doing that shit in the locker room, in the sauna, at home, like just not there, in front of all the cameras, national TV, got your whole butt, booty, ass, cheeks, pushing out. Nah, that's suspect. Was it Dalvin Cook got fined for doing that? You can't be doing that.
Hey, you had to know he was going to go for it on any fourth down he had to after that. Right.
Yeah, I guess so.
That was our wrap up for week 16. Let's do our picks for 17.
Yeah.
Thursday night, Cowboys, Titans, no Derrick Henry going to be playing.
Yeah, Cowboys for sure.
Yeah, I think the Cowboys would probably beat them even with Derrick Henry.
Yeah, I agreed.
Cardinals, Falcons.
This one's a little bit tougher because we actually saw the Cardinals kind of hold their own against Tom Brady, and now you also have like the opposite side of the spectrum where you're like, does J.J. Watt really try to like give a strong performance to end out the year? DeAndre Hopkins could slice up the Falcons secondary, but give me the Falcons in this game.
I'm taking the Falcons. I think Desmond Ridder is going to keep growing.
Same.
I think this is going to be his best game as a pro.
Same.
Chicago, Detroit.
Yeah, give me Detroit in this one. I don't really have like big explanation for it. I know they got really gouged in the run game, but I still trust Detroit's offense more than Chicago's.
I would honestly take Chicago if it wasn't for Justin Fields being so fucking banged up right now.
Yeah.
Because with how unhealthy Fields is,
Yeah.
unwell. With Fields being a little more banged up, they can't use as much as the design quarterback run game that they really want to, which is the biggest part of their offense.
Yeah, heard.
I think Detroit's just going to win this because they'll be able to put more points up on the board, but I think it's going to still be a pretty competitive game.
I could definitely see it. I think this is going to be another week of... I think this is going to be a decent Amon-Ra week.
I think Cole Kmet for the Bears.
Yes.
If there's someone in the passing game that makes it worthwhile for Chicago in this game, it's going to be Cole Kmet.
Agreed. I think he's going to have another... I think he's going to find the end zone regardless, but big week, I don't know, but I think he'll find the end zone.
I agree with you. I think Amon-Ra has a really nice game. Okay. So we're both taking Detroit, though?
Yes.
Okay. We're both taking the city with really dry pizza. Detroit-style pizza's dry. I will say that out loud.
I don't know if I ever tried it, but I believe you.
It's okay. I have no qualms with it. It's just kind of... It's more sauce.
Oh.
Jaguars, Texans, Jaguars
Yeah.
realistically could sit their starters for this game if they
Yeah.
wanted to.
Well,
Uh,
actually,
because next week's what matters for them for the playoffs.
yeah.
I wonder how much of the decision's gonna be made on what to do based on like if Tennessee loses.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the same boat I'm in for this one. But I still think the Jaguars probably win this. At a certain point, the Texans have to be like, we're done for the year because we want the lower draft pick.
Also, no Peters for this game.
Yeah, he's on IR, and Stingley's also on IR.
So honestly, I do think Jacksonville's just gonna take it. I just think there's not a bunch of like want from Jacksonville to win this game in comparison to next week. They could just be looking ahead of their opponent. They're just a much more talented team. See, Broncos Chiefs.
Oh man, that's a tough one. Yeah, give me Kansas City.
Yeah, KC. For obvious reasons. Russell Wilson's not very good.
Broncos country.
That's right. Let's go home, Broncos country.
My favorite I heard all year was Broncos country. You tried.
You tried. Broncos Patriots. This is very interesting matchup. Not Broncos Patriots. Sorry, Dolphins Patriots. We've been talking about the Broncos for too long.
Yeah. I don't think Tua's playing in this one. He shouldn't be allowed to. Give me the Patriots in this one. Yeah, just give me the Patriots. Man.
So.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Hunter Henry's on IR? Hold on. Who's on? Oh no. Why? That's such a misleading title. Practice squad tight end Scotty Washington. I don't know who you are.
Hunter Henry is questionable though.
Okay. Well, still, you know what? Give me New England. I think this is kind of be the week that they right the ship because they've been having some issues lately establishing the run game at all. Past couple weeks they've really struggled. Well, they didn't struggle against the Raiders, but you know.
That's the Raiders.
Yeah. So I think this will be the Patriots' time to right the ship.
I think the Dolphins are just wild as a team.
Yeah.
I think we've all learned that ever since I guess they were trying to get Sean Payne Wales with the Saints and Tom Brady.
Yeah.
2 different occasions.
Yeah, for real.
He was with New England and Tampa.
Yeah. Crazy.
I think Tua gets cleared and he plays.
I still give me the Patriots in this one.
I think it's a bad decision.
I agree.
I think they're going to win this game. I think the Dolphins win this game and Tua plays. I don't think Tua gets hurt anymore in this game.
I hope not.
But it's negligent. This Dolphins team is very negligent.
I agreed.
Keep going. Colts Giants.
Give me the Giants. They're just at a better place, and they're still trying to fight to maybe get in the playoffs.
They're locked in.
Oh, okay. Well,
they punched their ticket with I don't remember who lost, but someone lost this week, and they were able to get in.
Oh, I think. Oh, I don't know. Actually, I was thinking somebody. I think it's the Seahawks loss, right?
They could secure it by. They could secure that second seed, I guess.
Yeah. No, that's all right.
Either way, the Giants really don't have a shit ton.
Yeah.
To play for here. Colts +5.5. I could see people betting the Colts with money, but straight up for this game, I think the Giants are gonna probably win.
Agreed.
At least the Giants have some resemblance of an offense.
Yeah.
Let's see. Right, man, poor Colts.
Saints Eagles.
It's really funny. 20 years ago, the Colts were such a better team.
I know. I mean, shit. 10 years ago, the Colts were a better team. Well, I guess not 5, but 10 years ago, the Colts were a better team.
So wild, even with Gardner Minshew in at quarterback, that the Eagles are a 7-point favorite.
You know what? And I would take that too. I would. The Colts have no offensive capability whatsoever.
No, Saints.
Oh, sorry. The Saints with Yeah, the Saints have Rashid Shaheed as their leading receiver. Alvin Kamara hasn't been very productive. Jordan Davis should be back this week. He got a concussion last week, so I trust him to stop the run. Give me the Eagles. Give me the spread. Yeah, I'll take it.
Philly pretty easily. The Saints team has just been honestly lost all year.
Yes. Panthers Bucks.
Panthers Bucks. This is a huge game.
Yeah, this is me being hopeful.
Monumental.
Give me the Panthers.
I'm gonna take. Continue.
I was gonna say I don't want to bet on it. If you asked me to bet on anyone, I would not bet against Brady. But hopefully Panthers win.
I'm gonna go on a limb here. I'm gonna say Tampa.
Okay.
I think their defense has definitely been playing better the past couple weeks.
I agree with that. And the Panthers can't really play outside of the running game. Yeah.
If you force Sam Darnold to be the catalyst with the receivers they have,
yeah,
I don't think it's gonna work out.
Agreed.
I think Tampa ends up taking this game, but it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
These are two really good defenses and two offenses that have been struggling.
Browns Commanders.
This is interesting.
I take the Commanders here, 100%. The Browns don't really have the same passing game. Commanders are really good at shutting down the run, and the Commanders have a trio of wide receivers and a nice tandem of running backs. So give me the Commanders.
I'm gonna take Cleveland.
Okay.
Here's my thought process behind it.
Okay.
I think Cleveland has a really underrated defense.
Agreed.
I can turn it on at times. Even with the run game possibly being shut down, the Commanders haven't done well against teams that incorporate the quarterback run, though.
Yeah.
That's the only part of the running game they're not great at. I think if they can get Deshaun Watson running the ball a little bit, could definitely open things up for them, especially with play action down the field. Try to incorporate some more RPOs. Just try to get some of these athletes. Just try to get your athletes out in space, honestly.
Yeah.
Try to make the defense wrong no matter what. Biggest thing for me and really taking Cleveland this game, Carson Wentz.
Yes.
Carson Wentz starting on the other side.
Yeah. That's so fair. That's so fair. So bad. 49ers Raiders. This should be a hard one.
49ers Raiders. Give me the 49ers.
Yeah, same.
You know, Nick Bosa is right now in a spot to where he could break the sack record.
I believe it. Yeah, he's been having a good year. He was not that long, so.
I think he only needs like 5 more.
I believe it.
Some guys are like, that's not reachable.
No, it definitely is. Reachable. Especially with the last 2 games, it's reachable.
Now, yeah, because he plays the Raiders and Cardinals.
Yes. Yeah.
Shit, offensive lines.
Jets Seahawks.
Jets Seahawks. This is an interesting game. I feel like this game is going to be competitive and close.
Yeah.
But I think with Mike White back, the Jets are going to pull it off.
I agree. I am right there with you. I completely agree.
It's really funny. The opening line was Seattle being the favorite. Yeah. Now it's the Jets as the favorite.
Well, yeah,
for literally the same exact spread.
Better quarterback, yeah. Rams Chargers.
Ooh, did you say better quarterback? Are you ready to say Mike White's better than Geno Smith?
Oh, no. I meant than Zach Wilson.
Oh, okay. That, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Zach Wilson is worse than...
No question, yeah. Rams Chargers?
Rams Chargers. Give me the Chargers.
Okay, yeah, I'm right there with you.
I think the Rams might cover.
Maybe. It's possible. Cam Akers has been playing really well. We'll have to see. Everybody can kind of run on the Chargers. We'll see.
And also, and I fucking hate saying this, Baker Mayfield's actually been fairly impressive.
Yes, he has. He definitely has.
He's been playing much better with Sean McVay's system.
Yes, for sure. Vikings Packers.
I mean, Green Bay. I think Green Bay is the hotter team right now between the two.
Agreed.
And Minnesota will play down the competition.
Yes, definitely.
And it's in Green Bay.
Give me the Vikings just because I believe Justin Jefferson's going to go ballistic. That's about all I got on that one.
I will say our pass defense has been a lot better this past couple weeks.
Agreed with that. Agreed.
Green Bay's actually favored in this game.
Really? I believe that,
3
actually.
points.
Steelers, Ravens.
Give me the Ravens, regardless if it's Huntley or Lamar.
Okay, same on that. Yeah, I think I agree with that one. Oh, man. Actually, you know what? Yeah, give me the Ravens. I'm with you. Give me the Ravens.
Yeah. You had to go with, do I root for Mike Tomlin to have a great season?
Yeah, that's
Do I
exactly.
go with the better pick?
Bills Bengals on January the 2nd. That's our Monday night game. Give me the Bengals in this one.
Give me the Bengals too, but
Okay.
man, that's gonna be a banger.
Yeah, I
I'm
think that's
so
going to be such a
happy.
fun game.
Monday night games are so hit or miss.
I agree.
You have an awesome matchup, or it's just complete total dog shit.
Completely agree. 100,000%.
I also say, I wish they would have flexed the Green Bay Minnesota game to the primetime game instead of Pittsburgh Baltimore.
Agreed.
It has way more playoff implications.
Definitely. Yeah. I completely agree with you. It would have been so much better.
Night game at Lambeau, primetime night game at Lambeau
Yeah.
Field near the end of the season.
Yeah.
Whatever.
All right.
It's whatever.
Guys, thank you so much for watching. We love you all. Like, subscribe, comment. Let us know if your team's making the playoffs. Let us know if your fantasy team's in the playoffs. We're going to start posting on TikTok this week. I'm going to post some fantasy stuff this week. Good luck to your teams in the playoffs, fantasy teams in the playoffs. I hope everyone had a Merry Christmas if you celebrate. Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa. Everyone stay safe and happy and healthy for New Year's. Don't drink and drive. Be safe, responsible, and smart. And good luck to all of you.
Happy holidays. Have a good one.
Peace out.